Today is a chilly day in eastern Iowa, and it is solidly into February, or as I like to call it, Homeschool Slump Month. January and February are traditional times for people who are homeschooling to question all of their life decisions and think, I just got to put these guys into school. I just can't anymore. It is a almost universal feeling. It's a combo of cabin fever and burnout, and we've been doing this a while and things just don't seem to be working, and it's a slump. But it's something that pretty much everybody goes through. So after doing a little bit of just reaching out to people and seeing what people are really struggling with this time of year, I wanted to kind of address that and encourage you that this is a very short season. And I know I hate that term. Oh, it's just a season of life. Yes, I realize it's a season. But truly, this is just a very small amount of time where you're probably going to feel a little overwhelmed, probably going to feel a little burned out, but it is going to end. So maybe we could go over a few of the common overarching complaints during this time, and I can kind of encourage you and give you a few ideas on how to manage those. So I even have a little script here so I don't lose track of what I'm doing. And I've kind of broken the complaints down to about 4 categories. One's behavioral, one is managing your priorities and time management, one is academic, and the other is just natural turning points that we reach and we may not be prepared for. So some of the complaints that I hear or worries and concerns are my homeschool kid is just refusing to work. They won't do anything, or my kid is absolutely unmanageable and they're causing disruptions, etc. Or like my homeschooler, if I let them lead their own learning, thank you, then all they do is play video games all day and they won't be a self-starter. So those I consider behavioral issues. Those 3 complaints of they're not doing it, they're causing problems, or they're lazy or whatever, those are behavioral issues that may or may not be exacerbated by homeschooling, but typically are not, because to be perfectly frank, if you've got your kid in a public school and they come home and they won't do their homework, same thing. They come home and they have a meltdown, same thing. Your teenager doesn't want to do anything besides zone out at the end of the day, same thing. So you can approach this behavior a couple ways. And I do encourage you to approach it in a couple of ways. The first is, why is the behavior happening? And then discipline to encourage changing the behavior once the initial problem has been figured out. Oftentimes homeschoolers refuse to work because they're tired. Same reason that you might refuse to work, because you're tired, you're exhausted, you've been working too hard and you need a break. Sometimes people are unmanageable because they're not getting enough relaxation time that's actually quality downtime, like outdoor time like we usually get during the summer. Sometimes we have these older kids who are just not seem to be self-starters, and they just want to play video games all day. And a big part of that is because they don't know where they're going. So this part kind of dips into more of the transition time. But how can I get my homeschooled middle schooler to be more independent, or how can I get them to stop playing the video games? You need to figure out what is causing this behavior. Am I scrolling on social media because I'm overwhelmed and I need a brain break? Is my kid playing video games because he's overwhelmed and needs a brain break? Or is it truly because they just don't know what to do next? A lot of people have varying views on technology and how screens affect their kids, and it's true that too much screen time definitely kind of dulls the mind. But it also, on the other side, if you are constantly on, sometimes it's nice to just shut down. So each family is going to be different, and each situation is going to be different, and you're going to need to just sit down calmly and think, okay, are the video games causing this? Are the TV screens and digital things and technology causing this? Or is it something completely different? Are they working on the wrong level? Are they bored out of their mind? Do they need more chores? Do they need more of a life skills based curriculum? It's okay. We'll wash your hands with the markers in a minute. Okay? You want to go wash your hands? Okay. Go wash your hands. Do they need more life skills based education at this point? Think of if you yourself as an adult were acting out in the ways that they are, what would you be feeling and how could you solve that problem? Because likely it's not because you're homeschooling. It's just the way that it is in February, where we're cooped up, exhausted, and just overwhelmed with all the things that we are supposed to do but somehow cannot. My top tip for improving behavior in kids, regardless of age, is to change what you are expecting of them in two ways. Lower your expectations in one area of their life that has been the priority, and then raise the expectations in another part of their life that has not been the priority. You can do this by switching chores around. You can do this by introducing new responsibilities. You can do this by encouraging them to get started on a paying job, depending on their age. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. If life skills have been your most important, then you know what? Drop some of the chores and raise some of the academics. If academics have been more important, then drop some of the academics and raise some of those life skills like cleaning, cooking, getting outside, and doing labor.
Rosie, hurry! I have to get food.
Hi. We're going to talk about academics now.
Rosie.
Yeah, there's Rosie.
Me, Rosie.
You are Rosie.
Mommy. Carrots.
Yeah.
Cookies.
Carrots and broccolis. You telling people about carrots and broccolis? This is so nice. Thank you for telling them.
Stuff.
And oranges and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, another complaint that I see out there
Mommy.
a lot
Hey, Mommy.
is basically
Hey,
academic,
Mommy.
and
Hey,
interestingly enough,
Hey, Mommy. Hey,
it's
Mommy.
usually focused on the early childhood years, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the complaints go like, I need to change our curriculum right now, and I need something new right now because this is just not working for us. Or another one is, what am I going to do with my 4-year-old or my 3-year-old? I need a preschool curriculum for my 3-year-old. Tell me the best one. Or things like, my 6-year-old hates reading, or my 5-year-old hates reading. And then as they get a little bit older, it becomes more like, I feel like my homeschooler is behind other kids their age. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like they're behind. They haven't learned the things that they're supposed to learn. Right?
Mommy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No.
Mommy says no. That's right.
Mommy.
You know what?
No,
Your homeschooler
Mommy.
is
No,
likely
Mommy.
not behind anybody else.
No, Mommy. Mommy.
This obsession with a structured early childhood can be really problematic when you are trying to homeschool these young kids. This is Rosie. She's only 2, so she's even younger than I'm talking about. But I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old too. They're just hanging out in the other room. And the thing is, guys, I saw a quote. If babies were sent to school starting at 6 months and the teachers were the ones that taught them to walk, it would be a very short period of time before people assumed that you needed a teacher to teach a child to walk. When truly they just do it in their own time. Yeah, teacher. Your 3, your 4, your 5, your 6-year-old is a very young child. And we tend to expect a little bit too much out of them when they are so young, and really truly they need less of a structured learning environment than our older kids do. You can't put them in a box the same way that you do middle schoolers and high schoolers. Yeah. Because at that age, they're learning everything everywhere they go. Everything is new to them. They're not going to be that interested in reading, and that's okay. You don't need a structured curriculum. Although if you are a first-time homeschool mom, it is a canon event that you are going to get all of the structured things. Yeah. You're going to get all the structured things and try to follow through on them. And that's fine. You can totally do that. Yeah. Play is the most important part of early childhood. It is the work of childhood, to quote Mr. Rogers. Please allow yourself to be a little more academically relaxed, especially in this slump month, and especially with your younger ones. Because you know what? You can always make up those academics any time of year. Allow yourself to have that little bit of hibernation. Be like the bears. Allow yourself a little bit of hibernation now. And then, like the bears. Be like the bears, huh?
Read bears.
You want to read the bears?
Please.
Okay, go get some bear books. You want to go get the bear books? Oh, you're sleepy. Okay. Allow yourself a little bit of academic hibernation.
Mommy.
Spring is going to come, and it's going to wake you all right back up.
Papa.
Mommy, can you want to put some medium that I can make one?
Sure. Okay.
I have a laptop gone.
Okay, so we're going to do video number 6, and it's the letter A. So the third category of complaints that I see a lot during February doesn't actually have to do with homeschooling that much at all either. Although it does definitely take it into account, because we feel like things would be different if we weren't also homeschooling at the same time. And that is kind of a priority and time management category. my toddlers demand too much attention for me to homeschool their siblings, or I can't homeschool and take care of my house, or I'm in absolute survival mode and I'm not homeschooling like I feel like I should. Things that I personally deal with is like right now I'm massively pregnant. You can't see in this frame, but I am. And I feel so stressed out that I cannot go and just fix everybody a fast, wholesome, from scratch meal because I am tired, okay? I am sore. And the house might be a mess, and that's really distracting when you are trying to school. There's just so much going on, and we cannot focus back in. And in my opinion, a big reason for this is because we're sick a lot. It's February. People are catching colds and flus and all sorts of stuff. So that kind of makes time wonky. That means we're going to be sitting home a lot and we're going to be staring at that mess. Oh, that pile, it just really needs to go. I need to prioritize that pile over everything else. Or I am just so stressed, I just cannot anymore. And here is the solution that I'm going to give you. One of the main complaints that you see in public and private schools, any brick and mortar school, is that the kids come home completely, just absolutely overwhelmed. They cannot emotionally regulate. And it is so stressful for parents. They're like, my kid is just having meltdown after meltdown. They can't do this. And what are we going to do with all of these emotions that are so big? You are homeschooling. You have the ability to teach this emotional regulation. When you are overwhelmed because you are in survival mode, what would you teach your kids? What advice would you give another homeschool mom at that point? When you feel like you can't homeschool and take care of your home, or I can't take care of my home and cook, or I can't go exercise like I really, really want to and school the kids. What about when we're just overwhelmed, right? What advice would you give to somebody else? You need to shave some of the responsibilities off and give yourself some more grace, right? You also need to work on your time management and what your priorities actually are. If that is academics in this season, because you know that later you're going to be focusing on something else, then buy the frozen lasagna. Use the paper plates. It's going to balance out. If that's more teaching your kids life skills at this point and working on emotional regulation and saying, hey, we all feel really stressed out right now because we haven't been able to go to the park in 2 months. What can we do? Let's brainstorm. Let's think through how we can manage these big, big feelings. So it's teaching us as parents how to manage these big feelings, and it's helping these kids to be able to manage these big feelings before they are thrust out into the world and having to manage these big feelings with our own kids. So take that time to work on that emotional regulation and take that time to look at your time management and see if there's something that needs to be cut out. And if you've got your priorities a little bit out of whack. Because if you got your priorities in a line, go ahead and write them down. You're going to feel a lot more directed, a lot more capable of actually completing those goals.
Announce. Yep. Two hands.
What is that word?
Announce.
Oh!
says chicken. You know how to do chicken?
The last real category that I see a lot of complaints in is this like changing moment in people's lives. Suddenly they have a middle schooler. Suddenly they're brand new starting homeschool. Suddenly they just pulled their kids out of school mid-year and they're frozen. And there's all of these big transitions coming and they're just kind of stuck in that fight, flight, freeze, fawn, whatever your little trauma response is. They're stuck there and they're just like, wait, I have no idea what I'm doing. And the thing about this is that you will never get out of an uncomfortable situation if it's not uncomfortable. The reason I am massively pregnant and really uncomfortable right now is so that when labor starts, I don't go, oh no, more pain. I go, oh good, a change is happening and I'm going to come out on the other side of this like a beautiful butterfly, okay? So a lot of the complaints are things like, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of homeschooling supplies, like an actual physical, like there's just so many books. There's so much art stuff. There's so much this, there's so much that, and it's so cluttered and I can't handle it. Or I just pulled him from school and I have no idea where to start with this. I don't know. Another one I see for the older kids is, how do I teach life skills? Like, how do I get them to do chores? How do I get them to learn to cook their own meals for my homeschooled children? And these are all like big, major, life-changing times when you are completely turning the channel. You can see how old I am because I just turned a knob on my TV channel there. You're completely turning the channel. You're flipping to a new page. You don't know what's going to be on that next channel. You don't know what's going to be on that next page. And when we're not quite ready to see what's next, it can be really scary. So my recommendation for parents who are about to embark on a new journey is to just take a beat. Take a moment. Take a couple days. Take a week if you need to. With some of these, honestly, you can take longer than that. I just pulled my kid out of school in 8th grade and it's February. I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what? Your kid can take as long of a break as you want to. You got homeschool laws that you're concerned about? They can wait a few days minimum, okay? Before you figure them out, okay? You're gonna be okay. And deschooling, meaning taking a break from that mindset, is a really highly recommended thing for new homeschoolers at that kind of stage anyway. Tired of the mess? Sit back, get a Pinterest board. Think about how you want to organize things. What do you want to get rid of? Want to get your older kids more independent in their learning, more involved in chores? This is the perfect time to say, hey, you guys go focus on your interests for a little bit. I'm going to work on some of my own stuff and then we'll come together. Let's see what we can solve with this brand new journey that we've got coming up. So maybe you're starting to see that your kid is really interested in cooking and you can dive right into culinary arts. Maybe you are seeing that you have a truly massive amount of arts and crafts supplies and your kids are very interested in it, but very, very messy. This is a great time to teach organizational skills. February does not have to be reading, writing, math. It does not have to be. I vote that we should just take February off of all of what we have expected to do since September or August, and we'll start back again in March. That's my vote. February is not meant to be a month where you accomplish great things. February is meant to be that reset month in your homeschool where you don't give up, but you just step back, get a better perspective of the whole thing, and then you can narrow it back down and go like a guided laser missile to where you're trying to get.
Noodle Sensei is talking about was all good together stuff.
I'm trying to.
Which thing?
This thing.
Let me see.
I wish we could buy all the noodles and all the chocolate fried noodles in the warehouse.
Yeah, that looks good. I wonder what the... Here, hold this
Oh
and
wait, I
I'll
got it right here.
find the...
It's there.
I want to end this video with some really encouraging words that are going to refute some of the thoughts that you've had. No, you're not ruining your children. Yes, your marriage will survive. Eventually, you will have a lot fewer dirty dishes. Yes, they will get outside again. Parks will come back. Eventually, you will not be sick. The cushions on your couch will stay there for more than 24 hours soon. Eventually, your kids are going to be able to go outside and you won't hear the whining. Yes, your 6-year-old is going to learn to read, and that doesn't have to be today. Yeah, your middle schooler, high schooler is going to learn to take care of themselves. I guarantee you by the time they are moving out of the house, they will at minimum know how to make some ramen. You made it, they can make it too, okay? You are doing a good job. Even just those kids seeing you go is teaching them that they can do that too. They can take a moment. They can reassess. You are doing a good job. You don't need to make some drastic change. And always, always, always temper what you hear from others with what you truly believe in yourself. Some people might say, oh, well, you know, if you just put them in school, you wouldn't have to deal with that. Might be true, but you'd have to deal with something else, okay? And the other word of encouragement I'm going to give you that might be a little bit different. If you do decide that you need a break and you need to put them in a daycare, preschool, public school, etc., you are important too, and it's okay. And if you change your mind later, or if they change their mind later, there are options to do that then. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. There's plenty of other people waiting to do that, okay? So, everything's going to be okay. February is almost done. It's the shortest month for a reason. Oh, today's the 5th when I'm recording this. Oh, that means there's only a few weeks left. Anybody can do anything for just a few weeks. Give it a shot. See how it goes. See how you feel in March. Thanks for watching the video. Leave your questions, leave your problems in the comments. Let me know what you're dealing with. As a mom of almost 7, who's been homeschooling since the beginning and who was homeschooled for high school myself and who has worked in school districts and all of that, I will give you my best loving advice. I'm open for questions anytime, guys. And if you are in Eastern Iowa, you can contact me about groups and social events, and because I kind of volunteer as a rep in this area, and I'm involved in lots of different homeschool groups, which I do highly encourage you to get involved in, even if it's just one or two other moms that also homeschool. It's perfect. Moms need to socialize too. Have a lovely, lovely day and a peaceful rest of February, and we will talk to you soon.
Great. That
That was a horse. What is that? Oh, it's saying push a button. Can you push a button?
push elephant.
Oh, yeah, an elephant.
See? Elephant.
Yeah. Yep, the foot is pushing a button. You want to push another button?
No, elephant.
More elephant?
Elephant.